Magandang umaga, magandang tanghali, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Ako po si Pastor Alex at nagpapatuloy ho tayo sa ating serye po na Upside Down Kingdom. Kung kayo po ay napasusunod po sa ating serye, ito po ay nagsimula sa Mateo 5. Ang tawag ho dito sa Matthew 5, 6, and 7, Sermon on the Mount. At nasa Mateo 6 na ho tayo, 19 hanggang 24. Basahin ko po ang ating pong scriptures for today. Matthew 6 verses 19 to 24. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moths and vermin destroy, where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moths and vermin do not destroy, where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Verse 22, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is the darkness? Verse 24, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and Mammon. Dito po sa Mateo sa talata 19 hanggang 24, tayo po ay nagtatalakay po ng kung saan si Jesus po ay kinakausap niya ho yung mga tao po na nakikinig sa kanya at kanyang gustong ituwid po ang kanilang pananaw at puso patungkol po sa kayamanan at pag-aari. Lalong-lalo na ho yung sa tinatawag nating title ho ng ating pong topic for today is Handling Treasures Wisely o paghawak ng kayamanan ho ng may karunungan. Concern po ang Panginoong Diyos. Pasahan ho niya na kung paano ho natin pinamamahalaan ang mga biyaya hong pinagbibigay sa atin. Hindi lang ho ito pera, kundi ari-arian ho ng mga bagay po na pinagkatiwala ng Diyos sa atin. Sa Kanya ho, this is a primary issue. Isang paksan, napaka-importante sa Kanya. Hindi ito secondary. Kundi pangunahin kaya ho binigyan ng panahon po na isama ho sa mga unang Kanyang tinukoy ho na kung sa inaayos ang ating pananaw at ang puso patungkol po sa pagbibigay, patungkol po sa pananalangin, at patungkol po sa pag-aayuno. Dapat ho nating maunawaan ng panahon pong yun, panahon po ni Jesucristo, ang pag-aari ho at pagkaroon ho ng mga ari-arian ay isang palatandaan po o tandaan ng pagpapala ng Panginoong Diyos o kanyang reward for obedience. Kahit po ang mga Pariseo ho naniniwala ho na pag ikaw ho materially blessed, mahal ka ng Panginoong Diyos. Kaya ho, andun na lang ho yung intent nila to build great treasures on earth. Kaya naman ho sa araw na ito, importante ho siguro na atin pong talakayin o pag-aralan po ang Matthew 6 verses 19 to 24. Dahil po kung paano ho natin pinamamahalaan po ang mga pinagkatiwalang ari-arian po sa atin. Yan po ay nagpapakita ng laman ho ng ating puso o the real condition of our hearts. Kaya ako ngayon pong araw na ito, may tatlong bagay ho tayo i-unpack. 3 powerful attitudes from the scriptures. Yung una siyempre, to prioritize heavenly treasures over earthly ones. Yung pangalawa po is to pursue generosity for God over selfish hoarding. At yung pangatlo po is to place God as our master and not money. Magsimula ho tayo sa una. Anong isang una ho natin gustong ipakita ho dito, base muli sa Mateo 6, 19 hanggang 24 po, ay ang unang puntos po na kung saan sinasabi ho doon, we are to prioritize heavenly treasures over earthly treasures. Basahin po uli natin po ang Mateo 6, lalo na ho ang versikulo o verses 19 to 21. Sabi ho doon ni Jesus, do not store up. Kumbaga ang sinasabi niya rito, huwag tayong nag-iipon, huwag tayong nangungulekta. Huwag tayo nagkakamkam. Ang English ko minsan po, ang salitang ginagamit po is hoarding. Kaya nung sinabi yung do not store up, ito ho, pina-address po sa mga nakikinig sa do not store up for yourself treasures on earth where moths and vermin. Sa Tagalog siguro ho ng vermin, kalawang po. Kapag ang sumisira na kung anong ari-ari ang meron ho tayo. At hindi lang ho yun, malino hong sinasabi ni Jesus, where thieves break in and steal. Sa dami-dami siguro ng mga bagay natin na ating naimpok o ating nailagay ho natin po, nabili ho natin nasa bahay natin, di ba? Andun ho yung takot natin kaya ang ho tayong lalagay ng mga padlocks. Sinisigurahan sa gabi ho, nakasarado ho ang ating mga pinto at bintana ho sapagkat napakadami ho ngayon. Nagkaka-interest po sa mga ari-arian ho natin, lalo na ho kung alam yun, nakikita nila na dumarang niya at gumaganda ho ang ating buhay.
Sa verse 20 yung sabi, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. May dalawang tinutukoy ho dito, treasures on earth at saka treasures in heaven. Sa verse 20 sabi niya, ito yung ating isang option. To store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, why? Where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. Ganda ho ng verse 21, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Kumbaga, literal hong sinasabi ng Panginoon, do not treasure your treasures on earth, but treasure or store up your treasures in heaven. At yung salita pong treasure sa English, sa Greek po ay thesaurus, which means precious deposit. At ang ibig sabihin po, ng treasure po sa English, it is whatever you value the most in life, that probably like money and possessions. Again, nung panahon po ni Jesus, ang isang dalawang pinaka-importante po na pag-aari ho ng mga tao nung panahon yun po ay tela o sa English fabrics o kaya precious metals. Kasama ho siyempre doon po ang ginto at saka ang pilak. Doon ho sila nagkakaroon po ng pagmalaki at parang, alam mo yun, yung they find their happiness and their worth by having those things during that time. Kaya ho yun ho ang kanang mga kinukuha, iniimpok, tinatago ho. And the question for us today, sa ating hong pakikinig siguro ho sa ating pagsimula, hindi lang ho yung sa kanila ng panahon yun, tela man ho yun, ng mga precious metals sa atin. Ano kaya yung ating tinitreasure? Ano kaya yung pinapahalagan ho natin? Sa English na isang salita is, what do we value the most? Ang iba ho siguro, maaaring hindi pera, pero ang ating trabaho, ang ating career, ang ating mga hobbies, ano ho ba yung kanya-kanya ho tayo? Basketball, golf, ano ba yun? Pickleball na kung sa wala ka ng panahon sa ibang bagay na importante, hindi natin sinasabi ho na masama ang basketball, hindi natin sinasabi masama po ang mag-golf, kundi minsan may mga bagay tayong naisasantabi sapagkat ang ating oras at mga gastusin po doon na ho napupunta. Ang iba naman maaaring hindi naman sa hobbies. Maaaring iba ho naman bahay. Again, ito ho lagi nating nililinaw. Hindi ho masama ang makaroon po o mangarap po na makaroon ng sariling tirahan, but minsan may mga bagay ho tayong muling napapabayaan po. At hindi lang ho siguro bahay at ibang ari-arian katulad po ng kotse. Kumbaga ang sinasabi ni Jesus dito, pag pinag-usapan na ho natin ang priorities, kung ano unahin natin, ang kanyang sinasabi at malinaw niyang sinasabi ho dito at paalala ho sa atin, ay hindi ho yung mga bagay dito sa lupa. Na kung saan binibigyan ho ng pagpapahalaga, katulad na nabanggit kanina, we try to own things. Sometimes nga, yung mga bagay hindi naman natin kailangan. Dahil naiinggit lang tayo. Nakita natin meron iba yung tao, kaya gusto natin makaroon din. Ano man ho yung mga bagay na mahalaga sa atin, yun po ang kanyang tinutukoy ho dito. Kaya anong panahon yun? Again, tela ho o kaya mga precious metals. Si Scott McKnight, isa po siyang prominenteng New Testament scholar, author, and theologian. Itong kanyang pagpaliwanag dun sa Matthew 6, yung kinutukoy na ho yung treasures o kayamanan. Sabi niya, the word treasures here surely involves possessions. Kasama yun eh. But it's not the same as possessions. Instead, it refers to the what? The accumulation, yung pangolekta ho ng mga bagay-bagay of things as a focus or joy. Kumbaga, yun na lang ang nagbibigay ng kasiyahan sa iyo. Okay? Eto na ho, unahin ko na, sabihin ko na ho ngayon pa lamang. Alam niyo naman ho siguro yun, pagkatapos ho ng napakaraming panahon, nakita ho natin, naranasan natin ang magkaroon ng maraming ari-arian. That really satisfy us. Nakukontento buho talaga ang tao. Di ba ho? Walang bagay po na permanenteng nagbibigay ng kasiyahan. Temporary, okay, pansamantala, ba't hindi ho yun nagbibigay ng permanenteng kasiyahan? Lagi kang naghahanap ng bago at yun ang sinasabi niya. Tapos sabi pa ho ni Scott McKnight, it refers to the spirit of acquisitiveness or the desire to acquire. Hindi ko alam kung ano ho yung ating personal na experience na kung saan parang napupunan mong sarili, laging gustong magkaroon ng mga bagay ng walang katapusan. The desire to have more, the best, okay? Or even the better. Si John Mark Comer po, isang pastor sa Amerika, nung kanyang pinaliliwanag po itong ating pong talatang pinag-aaralan, sabi ho ni John Mark Comer, heaven here, nung sinabing store up yourselves, treasures in heaven. Ano ba yun? Sa langit? magpapadala ka ng pera, magpapadala ka ng mga regalo sa langit. Itong kanyang tinutukoy ho dito. Pinaliwanag po ni John Mark Comer, heaven here does not mean the place up in the cloud where you go when you die. In heaven was a first century Hebrew way of saying in God, sa Diyos, and in what He is doing on earth right now and into forever. Jesus was essentially saying that we should prioritize investing o mamuhunan sa Tagalog po in the things of God or in what God is doing on earth. Maring sa ating pong local church o sa ating pong lakad sa Panginoong Diyos, kumbaga, nasaan ang investment mo? Mga bagay na temporary po dito sa lupa o mga bagay po na pwedeng magpalapit, magpalago sa Panginoong Diyos o mga bagay pong magdadalaho ng mga kaluluho sa Panginoong Diyos. Sumuli paalala ho ni Jesus, invest more in your treasure in heaven. Again, paalala ho, hindi naman dahil sa kailangan ng Diyos ang ating panlalapi o mga bagay po na ating pwedeng irigalo sa Kanya. Walang gamit po sa langit yon. As a matter of fact, isang reminder po sa isang ethos o midweek service po na wala naman tayong madadalang mga bagay pagtapos na ho tayo sa lupa. Laging paalala yan, our life here on earth is short. Wala pa akong nakita po na namatay ho na naghabilin po siya ng lahat ng kanyang mga bini at ang kanyang mga naipon na itago ho na pag siya po ay ililibing na, meron pong isang sasakyan sa likod ng kanyang karo na kung saan ilalagay ho doon yung kanyang mga paborito pong naimpok, na itago, na ari-arian po. Wala ho. At yun ho ang paalala ni Job, di ho ba? Naked I came, and naked I will depart. At minsan nakalimutan ho natin yun. And what we do on earth matters in heaven. At merong connection po yung dalawang yun, at we miss that connection. Kaya ang paalala, the more that we invest and give here, in what God is doing, the more that we deposit there in heaven. What we do with our money, with our possessions, affects eternity. Ang tanong ho, bakit naman sa langit? Sapagkat ito hong paalala, doon ho tayo mananatili. Okay? At doon ho tayo pupunta. Tama ba ang Tagalog ko? We will spend eternity in heaven. That is the real life. The life here on earth is the before life. Ang tawag nga ng isang pastor na pakinggan ko. But the real life that we're longing for is not here. The real life that our heart is longing for is there with God in heaven. At si Pablo, ang konsepto na patungkol sa kalangitan ay kanya din pong nabanggit po sa aklat po ng Colossians 3 verses 1 to 2. Anong sabi ho ni St. Paul? Since you became alive again, naging Christian ka, naging manampalataya ka, so to speak, when Christ arose from the dead, now set your sights on the what? On the rich treasures and joys of earth? Hindi. Sinabi ho ni Paul, set your sights on the rich treasures and joys of heaven, where He sits beside God in the place of honor and power. Like heaven. Fill your thoughts. Gandang paalala ho, ano? Don't spend your time worrying about things down here. Ewan ko kung naiisip niyo yung una pa lang, ano ba itong sinasabi ni Pastor Alex? Hindi na ba okay ang mag-ipon? Hindi na ba okay ang mag-invest sa isang business? Hindi na ba okay? Ang alam mo, magplano ka ng iyong kinabukasan. Hindi ho yun ang sinasabi natin. Jesus is not against treasuring things. He's not against savings, investing, having an emergency fund, putting money aside. At iniisip mo yung retirement mo pagdating mo ng 65, 67 sa iba. Na sana malakas pa ho tayo. Hindi ho against ang Panginoong Diyos sa pagpaplano ng ating kinabukasan o pag-enjoy ng blessings na meron tayo. Yung magbiyahe ka kasi nakapag-retire ka. Hindi ho against ang Panginoong Diyos doon. God is not even forbidding for us to own things. But ang Kanya po talagang pasanin po ay ang ating pong attitude ng ating mga puso patungkol po sa pananalapi at pag-aari. He's talking about the tendency of every human being to store up treasures in the wrong place. It is the abuse of acquiring and collecting stuff and more stuff. Yun ho, kitang-kita ho natin yan, hindi lang ho sa Amerika, sa dami po ng mga storage. Okay? Sa Amerika, hindi ko na ho babasahin ang isang pag-aaral po na kung saan napakaraming self-storage facilities na sa Amerika. Sabi nga, there are over 50,000 self-storage facilities. But dito, balikan ho natin ang ating konteksto. Kung saan sinabi ho ng ni Jesus sa kanya kung mga kinakausap po dito at mga nakikinig sa kanya sa Mateo 6, na may dalawang klase po of storing up treasures or the two ways to live. At pinakita niyang pagkakaiba ng dalawang yun. Katulad na banggit kanina, dalawang options. Anong isang pwedeng option po that you want to live your life here on earth? Ang una po is store up treasures on earth. Mangolekta muli, yung sinasabi ko kanina. Okay, magkamkam na mga bagay-bagay ho. Na wala na ho tayo ibang iniisip at sinahulaman ng ating puso kundi pag-iimpok at pagpapayaman po dito sa lupa. Nung sinabi ni Jesus, do not store up treasures on earth. Look at verse 19 again. Anong paalala niya? Dahil moths, insekto ata yun, and vermin. Kung titingnan mo po sa mga pag-aaral po ng commentary, yung vermin po is the little creatures like insects or rats. But ang maganda ko sa ibang translation, talagang nilinaw niya na, ito po ay moths and rust. Bakit? Sinisira na eh. Di ho ma? I mean, kita naman ho natin ng mga bagay na bago ho. Nung una, tuwang-tuwa tayo. Alam mo yun, talagang hawak-hawak mo, ayaw mong mabitawan. Kasama mo kahit nasaan ka. Yung kotseng bago ho, talaga namang ayaw magkaskasan. Nililinis lagi, loob at labas. Pero hanggang tamaan at nagkaroon ng aksidente, at nakita mong may gasgas, alam mo, minsan papapagod ka na sa katitigil, kakaayos ng mga bagay na mayroong katulad ng kotse hanggang nakakita ka na mas magandang kotse at medyo mas komportable pag ginamit mo. So, ang tao, hindi ho siya kontento, ba't kinaalala ho sa atin, hindi magtatagal yan. Yung damit natin naluluma. Yung bahay na bilhin ho natin, nung unang-unang ganda hanggang nagkakaroon na ho ng kinakailangan pong mga parte ho ng ating bahay ng maintenance. So yun hong paalala sa atin, hindi permanente yan. Temporary lang yan. Okay? Nag-expire yan. So where moths and vermin destroy, where thieves break in and steal. May mga magnanakaw po, paki-interesan ho ang mga bagay na meron ho tayo. Eventually, everything on this world will eventually rot. That when we choose to live this way, we will find our hearts worrying or afraid because we know we can lose them all. At yun ho ang paalala ho nangyari po ng mga sunog po na mga bahay-bahay po sa Hollywood, sa LA. Kita mo, wala kang pwedeng magawa. Ang hirap pigilin. At nakita ho ng mga tao talagang kahit anong yaman mo at kahit anong mga bagay na meron ka ari-arian, may mga aksidenteng pwede mangyari. Kaya ho ang Proverbs 23 verse 45, anong kanyang bilin po? Do not wear yourself out trying to get rich. Yung kay pagurin mo sarili mo, magpayaman na magpayaman. Be wise enough to know when to quit. Eh ang problema, hindi na alam kailan tayo titigil. Ano ba yung enough is enough? Ang tao kasi merong longing for more. Walang satisfaction. And you only find satisfaction in God. Yun ho ang katotohanan. Kaya ang tao ho hindi sapa. As yung nangyayari ho sa Pilipinas ngayon, pagpapakita ho na grabe, ano bang bagay yung bibigay ng kasapatan sa'yo? Ilang kotse pa bang kailangan mo? 4 lang naman kayo, 5 lang kayo. Kung may 14, 15 kayong sasakyan, para saan? Okay? And you still flaunt, and you flaunt even the things that you have. Kaya ang social media, kitang-kita ho yun. Ilang bahay pa sa Forbes ang kinakailangan mo. Ilang maleta pa ho ng milyong-milyong pera ho ang kinakailangan natin para ho tayo maging sapat. But at the end of the day, ganun ho ang tao. Walang kasapatan ho. Kaya ang sabi ho doon, be wise enough to know when to quit. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears for it will sprout wings. May pakpak ho siya. And fly away like an eagle. Naalala ko pong kwento the King Tut, isang Egyptian pharaoh. Iniisip ho niya na talagang paligirin niya ang kanyang sarili ng lahat ng napakaraming ari-arian. Na iniisip niya, pwede niyang dalhin ho pag namatay na ho siya. Alam niyo, nung namatay ho siya, naunawaan ho siguro niya that he was wrong. Hindi naman ho nadala ang lahat ng kanyang ari-arian po sa kanyang pagkamatay. When Howard Carter discovered Tut's tomb, yung kanyang libingan, in 1922. Sabi nga nila, andun pa rin naman yung kanyang mga ari-arian eh. Today, those treasures sit in a Cairo museum in Egypt. They're still there, but that is long gone. Friends, you cannot take anything with you, and Jesus is saying, do not store up treasures on earth because you can't take it with you. Lahat ng ating naipok, lahat ng ating binili, iiwan ho natin yan. Wala kang madadala. Hindi ho pinapayagan sa langit ang balikbayan box. Hindi ho pinapayagan sa langit po ang may mga maleta ho ng lahat ng ating mga ari-arian. Walang yuho muli na nakadikit sa ating sasakyan papunta sa sementeryo. Kaya ho yun paalala ho sa atin. Look around your house. Ano ba yung mga bagay na meron ka na hindi mo na ginagamit? Na pag pumupunta ka ho at napupunta ka sa mall, ano mo yung pag nakita mong sale, nanghihinayang ka? Pagbili ka ng mga bagay na hindi mo nung kailangan dahil may extra ka. O iba naman, kahit walang extra pera dahil may isang credit card na pwede niyang utangin. At nakita niyo ulit, like kung binibiro yung mga tao ho natin, bakit ka bumibili ng isang bagay na hindi mo kailangan? O kaya isang damit na nakita mo, yung modelong nagsusuot, napakaganda, na iniisip pag sinuot mo din, gaganda ka rin, o lalaki. Okay? Na maging gwapo ka rin pag sinuot mo yun. Hanggang hindi mo na magamit, itatabi mo na ho, at sa totoo lang, ilan sa mga damit natin at pantalon at sapatos ang ginagamit natin? Lahat ba yun ginagamit natin? Palit-palit ka araw-araw? Hindi. May paborito ka eh. Hanggang nakalimutan mo na may mga bagay kang binili, nakatago na ho. At nagpapaalala na lang sa iyo, yung asawa mo, o yung anak mo, o magulang mo. But ang isang paraan ho ng pamumuhay dito sa lupa ay hindi ho yung storing up treasures on earth, but yung pangalawa, store up treasures in heaven. Verse 20 again, anong sabi ho ni Jesus? Where moths and vermin do not destroy. Yun ang contrast. The things that we store up in heaven do not destroy. Thieves do not break in and steal. Hindi ho sa yun naluluma. Okay? They are permanent. Kung sinasabi ko ng Panginoon sa paalala ho sa atin, not to spend all our time on gathering wealth and storing it away because it can disappear in an instant. Instantly, pwedeng mawala. Hindi ho lasting. Kaya nga, store up treasures in heaven. That we should be investing in eternity, investing in God, in what God is doing here on earth that has everlasting rewards. And tanong, ano ba yung storing up treasures in heaven? Napag-usapan ho ng mga pastor sa aming meeting ng Tuesday, ang daming pwedeng halimbawa dyan eh. Alam mo yung may pagkakataong kang makadulo ng isang pagtitipo na pwedeng makatulong sa spiritually. Kaya ho, meron tayong mga men's convergence, women's convergence, meron ho tayong couples convergence, meron ho tayong summit, meron ho tayong mga paraan na kung saan pwedeng maitulong o camps, altos o hiraya na kung saan pwede mong pag-isipan na medyo hindi kasama sa budget mo pero ano ba ng kapalit nun? Matutulungan yung anak ko eh. Ano bang kapalit nun? Matutulungan yung nanay ko eh. Doon ho tayo nagtatalo minsan, gastos ba yun o investment ba yun? Sana ho naiisip ho natin yun. Si John Mark Comer muli sa kanya pong pagpapaliwanag po ng verse 19 and 20, isang pastor muli sa Amerika. Ang sabi, do not invest all your time and energy and money in things that get old and rust and go out of style and can be snatched from the back of your car if you park too far from the street lamp. Instead, put your life into the things that matter, like your relationship with God. Ito na yung sinasabi ko. And the life in His kingdom, because where you put your treasures is where you put your heart. It's the steering wheel to your engine of desire. When you choose to store up treasures in heaven, friends, you will find yourself heavily invested in the things of God. Suddenly, nagkaroon ka ng kingdom mindset. Ang tanong uli, why prioritize heavenly treasures? In verse 21, ang ganda ho. Hindi ko alam kung ating natatandaan, nababasa ho ito kasi minsan nagkakamali din ako dito eh. But basahin po natin verse 21 ng Matthew 6. Where your treasure is. Hindi sinabing where your heart is. Ulitin ko ang sabi ho talaga ni Jesus, where your treasure is, kung saan mo nilalagay ang iyong ari-arian. Kung saan mo ginagastos yung pera, kasi yung puso mo doon susunod. Hindi ko nung naman puso mo, okay, ang mga bagay-bagay, bibilihin mo, basta sa laman ng puso. Hindi, kung saan mo nilalagay. Because money and treasures can set the direction of our life. It can orient our hearts. Whatever we value, whatever we trust, whatever we hold dear, it's a way of orienting our hearts, and your life will flow in that direction. The things that we treasure determine the orientation of your life and heart. Kaya yung sinasabi ko kanina, lagi yung nagkakamali. Yung akala ko nga, ang sabi ng Bible, where your heart is, there your treasure will be also. Kung bago paalala po sa atin, ang sinasabi ni Jesus talaga, your heart follows your money. Where you spend it. Okay, ano bang hobby yun? Doon mo nilalagay. Ano ba yun? Hiking ba yun? Ano ba yun? Running ba yun? Ano ba yun? Basketball? O ano mang bagay ho yun? Pagbili ng mga bagay ho. Okay, eventually makita ho natin ang puso natin papunta na ho doon. How we spend our money matters more than we realize. Because our heart follows our treasure. That whatever you put your treasure, or wherever you put your treasure, that is where your heart or affection will also be. Randy Alcorn, isa pong mananalag po ng mga libro patungkol sa finances. My heart always goes where I put God's money. William Barclay, ito din po ang kanyang sabi, ganda pakinggan niyo ho. Jesus never said that this world was unimportant. Hindi ko sinasabi rin yun. Hindi importante itong buhay sa mundo. No. But sabi ni William Barclay, but he said and implied over and over again that its importance is not in itself, but in that to which it leads. Saan kanyan dadalhin? This world is not the end of life. It is a stage on the way, and therefore a man should never lose his heart to this world and to the things of this world. His eyes ought to be forever fixed on the goal beyond. So if your heart is focused on just simply the retirement sa America 401k, if your heart is focused on your hobbies alone, if all that you worry about is your business, then your heart is drawn to them. Muli ho, ulit-ulitin ho natin. Whatever we do with our money doesn't simply indicate where our hearts are. According to Jesus again, it determines where our hearts go. PV, sa lahat po ng nakikinig ho ngayon, can we begin to invest more in the kingdom of God? Kung anong ginagawa niya dito sa local church, saan ka pwede makatulong doon? Saan ka pwede magsilbi doon? Saan mo pwedeng bigyan ng bahagi ang iyong panalapi o sweldo man, ano mong tawag ho natin doon, kita ho natin o business natin sa kanyang kaharian. Invest more our finances and kingdom purposes that impact people for eternity. Ano man po yun. But ano ho yung pangalawa? Ang pangalawa ho is to pursue generosity for God over selfish hoarding. Ito naman ho yung verses 22 at 23. Ang sabi ho doon, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, sa ibang translation po, the word is clear. Your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. Dalawang klase daw ho ng ating mata. Although hindi ho yan literal na mata. It is a figure of speech. Yung healthy at yung pangalaho sa verse 23, unhealthy. At sabi ng verse 23, but if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is the darkness? Ang ating pong mga mata ay para pong bigda na ho. Na yung pong amount of light that comes in depends on the quality of the window. If the window is stained or dirty, but ho yun, less light can come in. So Jesus saying here, your eyes is like that for your body. So anong dalawang klase po ng ating mata o two types of eyes? Yung isa ho, sinasabi ho ni Jesus, mayroon pang healthy eyes. O ang iba ho, clear eyes. Galing po yan sa Hebrew word, kung saan ang salitang good eye ay ginamit po yung dalawang salita po sa Hebrew. Ayin means eye. Tov means good or healthy. At pinakita ho na isang translation po sa Biblia sa Matthew 6 verse 22, CJB, the eye is the lamp of the body. So if you have a good eye, ano ba ibig sabihin ng good eye? Diba? It implies generosity or being generous. Yung pala ho yun. that your whole body will be full of light. Even John McCammer again, ang kanyang pagpaliwanag ko patungkol dito, that the Greek word here for healthy implies generous. John MacArthur explained it this way, a good eye, ano yun? A heart focused on God and generosity allows the light of God's truth to penetrate one's being, leading to spiritual understanding and a life filled with light. Si Gary Hamrick, isang pastor rin po sa Amerika, pare-pareho po ang kanilang sinasabi ko ano yung good eye o healthy eye. Having a good eye means that you have a good perspective of God. You see Him as the source of every good and perfect gift, and every blessing has come down from the hand of beneficent Father, and that God is the owner of everything, and we are only stewards of it. And when you have that good eye and recognize the goodness of God, what happens is it shapes your perspective of material things. Kaya nga Proverbs 22 verse 9, ginamit po yung tov ayin, yung salitang generous, that the one who is generous will be blessed because he gives some of his food to the poor. But yung unhealthy eye naman po, eyes or bad eyes, ang Hebrew word pong ginamit po o term is ayin ra'ah. It came from two words. Ayin means eye again, ra'ah means bad or evil. Si John McCammer, yun din pong kanyang paliwan. The Greek word for bad or evil or unhealthy here implies being stingy. Ano ba yung stingy? Kuripot. Okay. Ang Mateo 6:23, CJB translation. Nilinaw din pong gamit po ng salita pong evil eye o phrase na evil eye. But if you have an evil eye, if you are stingy, Tagalog, kuripot, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great is the darkness? Isama na uli natin si John MacArthur. Anong sabi niya? A bad eye, a heart focused on material possessions and self-interest, sarili mo nang iniisip mo. Pagkakamkam na mga bagay-bagay, yan daw hong bad eye, blocks the light of God's truth, resulting in spiritual darkness and a distorted view of reality. Muli ho ang Panginoong Diyos po, andun po yung kanyang concern. Andun po yung kanyang fasan po about how we see and not simply what we see. Napakinggan niyo sinabi ko? It's not just what we see but how we see things. Your ability to see and understand and comprehend truth and reality. Kaya ho yung verses 22 and 23, tinutukoy ho sa dalawang klase po ng mata. And God's way of saying, there are two ways of looking at the world. So ano hong leksyon sa atin ngayon? Ang isang leksyon po, if we have a healthy eye, you see God as your Father in heaven, that He is your provider, that you look at Him as generous, hindi po stingy, kundi po ng Panginoong Diyos. Ang isang taong pong merong healthy eye would look at the things that he has, yung bagay na meron ka as God's gift. Kaya manunong ka magpasalamat, Lord, hindi ito akin. Yung talento ko, yung trabaho ko, kung anong meron ako, galing sa iyan, hindi galing sa akin yan, pagpapahalayan. At bilang isang anak ng Panginoong Diyos, natututunan mo yun kasi meron kang healthy eye, naintindihan mo yun, kaya ako mas madali sa'yo ang magpahala ako ng ibang tao o tumulong at magbigay po sa pangailangan ng ibang tao. Because friends, if your heart is in heaven or in God, you will have a generous spirit. Pakinggan niyo po si David mismo. Ito ho yung tao na merong pananaw na, alam mo yun, na maka-jokes na kung saan ito po ay resulta ho ng isang healthy eye. Si David po sa 1 Chronicles 29 verse 10-17. David praised the Lord in the presence of the whole assembly, saying, Praise be to you, Lord, the God of our father Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. Yours, Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the majesty and the splendor. For everything in heaven and earth is yours. Oh, yun ang merong healthy eye. Naunawaan ni David ho, bilang hari, yours, Lord, is the kingdom. You are exalted as head over all. Verse 12, wealth and honor come from you. You are the ruler of all things. In your hands are strength and power to exalt and give strength to all. Now, our God, we give you thanks and praise your glorious name. But who am I and who are my people that we should be able to give as generously as this? That everything comes from you, and we have given you only what comes from your hand. Sabi pa ho niya sa verse 15, we are foreigners and strangers in your sight. We are all ancestors. Our days on earth are like a shadow without hope. Lord, our God, all this abundance, anong meron kami that we have provided for building you a temple for your holy name comes from your hand. Kahit yung kinutulong ko, binibigay ko para sa pagtatayo ng templo ng Panginoong Diyos. O ano man yung binibigay ho natin sa Panginoong Diyos, sa isang local church na ating kinabibilangan. Galing ho sa Panginoong Diyos yun eh. Yung sinasabi niya sa verse 16, it all belongs to you. Verse 17, I know, my God, that you test the heart and are pleased with integrity. All these things I have given willingly and with honest intent. And now I have seen with joy how willingly your people who are there or here have given to you. Recently ho, isang kwento na ng husaan sa Amerika po, nung nagkakaroon ho muli ng pagkakaroon ng renovation po na isang bahagi sa taas ng ating center po, PV sa LA. Bilang yan ho, meron kang kinaugnay ng Panginoong Diyos. Yung kanilang pag-aari o pera hong nakatago umaabot pong $5,000 kinaugnay ng Panginoong Diyos, binigay na ho para ho sa renovation po ng ating center sa LA paghanda po sa ating 30th anniversary next year. Because friends, if your eyes are healthy, you would see God as the source of everything that we have, and we are supposed to be able to manage it, to be a good steward, to be a vessel, a channel of generosity. Pero sa kabilang banda, kung tayo po ang ating mata po is unhealthy, you would look at things differently, the world differently. We see things through the lens of where life is hard, things are terrible, there is no God who will provide for my need and is not involved in my life. Ang isang tao pong may unhealthy eyes will see himself as the owner of his things, of all things. This is my money. This is my business. This is my career. I worked hard for it. It's mine. Sabi ho doon, meron ka pong mata na kung saan unhealthy. You will eventually find yourself very selfish and greedy. How do you know if money or the things of this world have clouded your spiritual vision? Look at how we use our money. The extent to which we are generous sa mapagbigay shows how much we cling to those things or we are clinging to God. Friends, be careful of greed and selfishness. Because our problem is we have the tendency to spend more for ourselves, to have more. Okay? Because I'm earning more. Yung bang kumikita naman ako, hindi ba karapatan ko na gastusin ko to sa mga bagay na gusto kong gastusin? Wala na ba akong karapatan? When you can afford to spend more because you have more money, because you say, this is my money, and it's okay to spend for myself. Nakakatakot lang po kasi ang puso ho natin pwede hong pumalo ho dun sa kabilang banda ho na kung saan masyado ho tayong gahaman. O greedy o selfish. Yung Luke 12 ho, mahaba lang ho ito. Ito yung problema of wanting for more despite of what we already have. Nabubulol ho ako. But doon ang paalala sa verse 15, isang warning po sa atin, hindi ko nang babasahin po yung lahat. Sabi ho ng verse 15, then he said to them, sa mga taong nagtatanglan na hudo sa crowd. Kikita mo sa verse 13, tinayin niyo yung inyong Biblia. But sa verse 15, itong paalala, watch out! Be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possession. At yun ho yung mamang tinutukoy ho dito sa parable. A certain man, okay, who yielded an abundant harvest. So nag-iisip pa siya magtayo ng barns at saka mas malaki pang barns. Hindi ho nakukontento eh. Yung paalala sa kanya sa verse 20, sa lahat ng iyong magpaplano, hindi kasamang Panginoong Diyos, minsan yun hong ating naging problema. Dahil sa gahaman ho ng tao at ang puso ng tao at hindi ho tayo exempted doon, nakakatakot ho talaga ang puso ng tao. Kapag hiwala ho sa Panginoong Diyos, kahit nga ho, mananampalataya kapag hindi nag-ingat po, grabe, will always find ourselves being drawn. Okay? Doon sa mga bagay na hindi dapat natin ginagawa yung kasakiman. Kaya sa verse 20 ho, doon sa mamang tinutukoy sa parable po. Sa Luke chapter 12, verse 20, ang sabi, but God said to him, you fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you, then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? 21, tingnan nyo, no? This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich towards God.
The most common misconception is that life equals possession. We think the more possessions a man or a woman has, the better life will be. But it's a lie. Isang kasinungalingan po yan. Our lives are not defined by what we have. Owning a big house with 4 rooms equals life? Of course not. Hindi ho totoo yan. Kayong tao, marami, pag tumatandaan, nakabili ko ng isang napakang bahay, nagda-downgrade. Pag tumatanda ka na meron kang first, second floor, meron third floor, di ba? Napapakinggan ko kadalasan nga, nahirapan na silang bumaba, akit, pababa, kaya naghahanap na ho ng isang, ano po yun? Isang floor lang na bahay. Na nag-aalisan na yung mga anak mo, nagkasawa na ho, ikaw na na mag-isa. Naghahanap ko na isang masaliit na lang room na kung saan mas simple ang buhay. Hindi ba ho yun ang totoo? It's a lie to believe that real life is just owning the most expensive car. Again, it's a lie. Or having a vacation 4, 5 times, 6 times a year equals success. Hindi ho totoo yan. Si Solomon po nagsabi, I have also learned why people work so hard to succeed. It is because they envy the things their neighbors have. Inggit na lang ho yun. Social media, nag-post yung kakalala mo, kamag-anak mo, kaibigan mo. But sabi ni Solomon, it is useless. It is like chasing the wind. Friends, ingat ho tayo saan ba tayo nakatingin. Sa trabaho na lang ba ho natin? Sa pagkita ba ho natin? Pagbili ng walang katapusan para sumaya ho tayo. At tingin ho natin temporary. Kaya ang paalala ho ni Solomon, emptiness, vanity, striving after the wind. Phoebe, when we forget God, yun ho ang kadalasang nangyayari, we become so greedy and selfish. Greed is a trap that snares many believers. Yan po isang prison na kung saan will lock us up. Okay? Sa loob ho ng ating pong prison. At maglalayo ho ng maraming tao sa atin. Yun hong warning po ni Paul sa 1 Timothy 6 verse 9 to 10, verse 17, those who want to get rich. Ang iba ho, hindi lang ho they want to get rich, but they want to get rich fast. They fall into temptation and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. Ito na ho, hindi masama ang pera, for the love of money, ang sabi niya, is a root of all kinds of evil. And some people eager for money have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. Kaya sabi ho ni Paul kay Timothy, command those who are rich. Yung medyo mas lamang pa naman ho, okay? In this present world, not to be arrogant, wag mayabang, not to put their hope in wealth. Mawawala din yan, hindi yan pangmatagalan, which is also uncertain. But to put their hope in God who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Pagkatapos po ng una at pangalang punto, ito na ho yung pangatlo at panghuli. PV, sa lahat po ng mga nakikinig ho ngayon, again, isang magandang paalala sa ating panahon ngayon sa mga nangyayari po, hindi lang ho sa Pilipinas. Grabe yung pangkasalukuyang hearing po na kung saan talagang nagugulantang ka na o nagugulat. Ang gaano kalaki ang corruption po sa Congress o ng isang contractor po. Pero isang magandang paalala ho sa atin sa pangatlo po is to place God as our master over money. Sa Matthew 6 verse 24, basahin lang po natin. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Sa verse 24 ho, sinasabi ho ni Jesus, may dalawang masters na pwede ho nating pagpiliang paglingkuran. Masters o lords. At yun po ay ang Diyos o yung panlalapi. Sa English po, God and money. But sa ibang translation po, ang ginamit pong word is mammon. Kaya po dun sa isang translation po, AMP, ito pong pagkakasalin. No one can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God. You cannot serve God and mammon. Sa kanya, pinaliwanag pa ng AMP translation, money, possessions, fame, status, or whatever is valued more than the Lord. As sa Mateo 6 po, ang gamit po ni Jesus na salita po is Aramaic term na mammon. Why? Kasi gusto pong isignify ho ng Panginoong Jesus the potential of money to become a god, a pagan god, which is an idol, of materialism. At sabi ho ni Jesus, you cannot serve both God and mammon. There's no really in between. You cannot choose both. Money can compete with God as your master, and money is a rival God. Si Os Guinness po ang kanyang paalala, money can never be treated as a purely economic issue. Hindi lang yung ginagastos, kinikita ho natin. It is always a spiritual and moral issue first, precisely to pretend that money is neutral and simply a medium of exchange is to leave ourselves vulnerable to its power as something more. Kaya pag hindi mo pinili ang Panginoong Diyos, ang human nature, you will find yourself being drawn, given an opportunity when money is available. Dinadala ka ho dun eh. Ganun ho kapangyarihan po ang panalapi. An idol to which we become. Ano sabi ho ni Os Guinness, enslaved. Maraming komentaryo po think that the book of Matthew, especially Matthew 6, is talking about simply the power of money. But si Matthew Henry po isang tagasulat po ng commentary, lalo na ho dito sa ating tinutukoy pa, this Matthew 6 verses 19 to 24. Ano sabi niya? To some, their belly is their mammon. Yung tiyan ho natin. Walang ginawa kundi kumain. Okay? They serve that. Sabi ko ng Philippians 3:19 yan. To others, their ease, yung comfort ng buhay. Iba yung tulog, their sleep, their sports and pastimes. Other mammon, Proverbs 6 verse 9. To others, worldly riches. To others, the praise and applause of men. In a word, sensual, secular self is the mammon from which cannot be served in conjunction with God. For it be served, it is in competition with Him and in contradiction to Him. Again, Matthew 6 is telling us through Jesus Christ in a Sermon on the Mount that we have to choose, we must decide, we must choose. There's no in-between. Jesus saying, ito yung pagpipilian. You can serve God, our Heavenly Father, who had promised that He will love us. He will be involved with us. He will be our Father. The Father who knows our needs, yun pong ating tatalakayin po sa Sunday Sunday. And the God who will provide for our needs. If you choose God as your master, naalala ko po ang Psalm 16 verse 11, Amplified Bible, na sabi po ng psalmist, you will show me the path of life. Yan ang isang taong nasa kay Kristo. In your presence, in God's presence, in His presence, is fullness of joy. In His right hand, there are pleasures forevermore. Yan po ang binibiho ng Panginoong Diyos kung siya po ang ating Master o Lord that money cannot provide. Si John Mark Comer po itong kanyang paliwanag, if you're not on board with Jesus' view of money, it could be that you, like many Christians in the West, myself, sabi ni John Mark Comer, myself included until quite recently and with frequent relapses, don't actually believe the gospel of the kingdom. The good news that the life you've always wanted is fully available to you, right where you are through Jesus Christ. Andyan na eh. Bilang isang Christian. Yung kasapatang hinahanap po natin. Through Him, you have access to the Father's loving presence. Nothing, not your income level or stage of life or health or relational status, nothing is standing between you and the life that's true life. Or the other option again is you can serve money or mammon. Money will never love you back. It will make you a slave. It will make you blind. It will leave you anxious and worried and fearful. Si Jesus ho nilinaw ho, there's a proper place for money. At hindi ho yan po sa trono ng ating mga puso. Dapat pong manampalataya at mga tagasunod ng Panginoong, you are a believer and follower of Jesus Christ. You see, money is something that belongs to God. That we are simply stewards, tagapangalaga, sa ilang binigay ng Panginoon ngayon. Okay, eventually, hindi natin madadala uli sa langit. Paalala ho nung una pa lang. It belongs to Him. And we are to manage and to handle treasures, God's treasures wisely for His purposes. Sabi ni A.W. Tozer po, in the book of Genesis, these are simply called things. They were made for man's use, but they were meant always to be external, panlabas to the man, subservient to him. Okay, hindi idol. In the deep heart of the man was a shrine where none but God was worthy to come. Our woes began when God was forced out. The man home dus eh.
Of a central shrine, the things were allowed to enter. Within the human heart, things have taken over. Men have now by nature no peace within their hearts, for God is crowned there no longer. There's now within the human heart a tough, fibrous root of fallen life, whose nature is what? Yun ang sinasabi ko. If you don't choose God, eventually you'll find yourself choosing money. Because fallen life, sinful nature, is what? To possess? Always to possess. It covets things with a deep and fierce passion. Friends, pinakalveres, nasan man ho tayo? The challenge is, what is the bottom line of your life? Lahat naman kasi ho sa buhay, meron pong bottom line. Ang mga businesses, they measure success by the bottom line. Kumikita ba o nalulugi? Ang tao ho, okay, meron siyang bottom line. Whether they say it or not, for some, the bottom line is financial security. Gusto ko lang secured ako financially. For others, it's comfort, it's family stability or success. And the question perhaps that we might need to answer is this question. When someone asks you, what is the purpose of your life? Ano ba ang layunin ng buhay mo? Ano ang ating maging sagot? Kasi hindi ko alam kung anong bottom line natin. Sa iba, sa Amerika siguro, ang kanang bottom line, American dream. Kung taga-Europe ka, di kung ano yung pangarapin ng lahat ng mga immigrants sa Europa. Okay? Magtrabaho, maayos ang papeles, mag-impop, magtago ng pera, mag-invest, maaaring naghihintay na lang ng retirement, at just mag-enjoy na lang sa buhay. Ang kanang bottom line ho, as long as I am financially secure and not struggling, I have made it. Friends, not wrong to work hard or provide for your family, but that is what defines your life. Masyadong maliit yun. Kaya nasa Mark 8 verse 36, itong warning ng Panginoong Diyos. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? But friends, ito na ho yung ating upside down kingdom. Because the kingdom of God gives you a different bottom line. Si Joshua po sa Lumang Tipan, sabi po ng Joshua 24 verse 15, as for me, sabi po ni Joshua, and my house, we will serve the Lord. Yan ang kanyang bottom line. Lord, yung aking buhay, yung aking pamilya, yung aking resources, lahat ng meron ako, they all gearing towards serving the Lord. Sabi ho ng John 10 verse 10, I have come that they may have life. Ito yung ating magiging theme verse sa ating anniversary next year. And have it to the full. I guess the real question for us today is this: which bottom line will define your life? Will it be, I want to be financially secure, comfortable, and safe? Or sa kabilang banda naman ho, ang iyong bottom line, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Napag-usapan niyo ng mag-asawa na iyong pamilya, ng magulang mo, ng magkakapatid ho, na ang aming bottom line sa buhay at ang gusto namin gawin, lahat ng aming pinagpapaguran at pag-asenso at pagsulong sa buhay is not to chase the European dream, the American dream, o makapunta ng Australia o saan mong bahagi po sa labas ng Pilipinas, yumaman po, but to embrace the kingdom dream. Si James Kraft, the founder of Kraft Foods, did not begin as a wealthy man. Kita niyo yung larawan po ni James Kraft. He started with a horse and wagon selling cheese in Chicago. And at first the business failed. He later admitted that his horse, Paddy, P-A-D-D wine, often seemed to know more about business than he did. One day, discouraged, he looked at his horse and said, Paddy, there's something wrong. We are not doing it right. I'm afraid that we have things turned around and our priorities are not where they ought to be. Maybe we ought to serve God and place Him first in our lives. At yung decision hong yun ay nagsimula ng kanyang turning point. Si Kraft began to prioritize God in very practical ways. He dedicated the first portion of his earnings to the Lord, faithfully giving, supporting church ministries. He made serving his local church a higher priority than climbing the corporate ladder, teaching Sunday school, and staying active in the ministry. He openly confessed that his greatest title was not CEO, but servant of Christ, saying, I had rather be a layman in the North Shore Baptist Church, doing the work I love, than to head the greatest corporation in America. My first job is serving the Lord. He treated his business as God's business. Hindi kanya seeing himself as a steward rather than an owner. As Kraft trusted God and reordered his priorities, his little cheese business grew in one of the largest food companies in the world. Yet his measure of success was not profit margins but kingdom investments. And looking back, Kraft said, "The only investment I ever made which has paid consistently increasing dividends is the money I have given to the Lord." Kraft's life shows us that true success is not found in wealth or recognition. Wala ho sa kayamanan, wala ho sa pagiging kilala ho sa lipunan. But sa kanya ho, ang true success is putting God first. Saan? Sa kanyang finances, sa kanyang trabaho, sa kanyang pang-araw-araw hong priority. PB, wag ho nating sayangin pong ating buhay sa isang pangarapin na magtatapos lang po sa isang retirement. And when our life here on earth is done, we just simply say goodbye. I hope we live for the dream that carries it into eternity. The abundant life that Jesus offers is greater than the American, European, or Australian dream. Choose today what will be the bottom line of your life. Because at the end of our lives, people will remember what our bottom line was. Was it wealth? Was it comfort? Or what is Christ? Muli, basahin ko sa ating pagtatapos ng John 10. The thief comes only to steal, and kill and destroy. But I have come, Jesus has come, that we, that you, those who come to Him might experience life and have it to the full. Bago tayong manalangin, pwede ba ho tayong tumayo, nasan man ho tayo at awitin ho natin at sabayin ho natin pong ating pong worship team sa awiting pong I give myself away.
Here I am, here I stand, Lord, my life is in your hands. Lord, I'm longing to see your desires revealed in me. I give myself away. I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. I give myself away so you can use me. My life is not my own. To you I belong. I give myself so you can use me.
Pwede ba po tayong manalangin po? Nasaan man ho kayo ngayon, isang magandang paalala ho sa atin. Heavenly treasures at earthly treasures. Ito ho yung ating pangunawa po na ang buhay ho natin kaloob ng Diyos, pag-ari-arian ho natin kaloob ng Panginoong Diyos. At tayo dapat lang ho maging channel ng kanyang pagpapala ho. Instead of just being greedy and selfish and hoarding. But siyempre ho, yung pakatong paalala, choose. Sino ho ating pagsisilbihan? Ang Diyos o ang kayamanan o pananalapi. Manalangin ho tayo. Panginoon, lumalapit po sa iyo at napapasalamat sa isang magandang at napaka-importante na papanahon na paalala sa amin. Sa kabila na aming nakikita at napapakinggan sa aming kapaligiran ng mga taong nasisira ng kasakiman sa pananalapi, ito'y paalala sa amin sapagkat hindi kami exempted, Lord. Daming paraan na pwedeng mapalayong ay mga puso dahil nakalimutan namin, Panginoong Diyos, Ikaw sa aming buhay. Inaakalahan namin, Panginoon, ang aming buhay ay amin, ang aming trabaho ay amin lang, ang aming ari-arian o pagpapala na meron o aming career ay para sa amin lang. Lord, salamat po na pinaalala mo na we cannot serve two masters and we need to choose one. Lord, ano po bang aming bottom line? Ito po ay ang iyong kaharian o ito pong kaharian sa lupa? Ito ba ay ang buhay na parang komportable at marangya dito sa aming buhay dito sa lupa, nasaan man kami, sa Pilipinas, nasa Middle East, nasa Australia, nasa Amerika at nasa Europa. Salamat, Panginoong Diyos, na makapipili kami. At ngayon pa lamang, Panginoong Diyos, we want a life that is full, a life that is abundant, a life that is not foolish, a life that is flourishing in you. Lord, patawarin sa mga panahong nakakalimot, binibigay ang aming buhay, ngayon ang aking pamilya, ang buong aking desisyon kasama ng aking pamilya, aking mga anak, mga magulang, kapatid, O Diyos, ay inilalaan sa iyo at nilalagak sa iyong paanan, Panginoong Diyos. Patuloy kaming pagharian, pangunahan. Papasalamat, Panginoong Diyos, sa paalalang ito. Lord, salamat po sa pagkakataon din na makapagpahala ng iyong gawain. Nasaan man kaming local church o kung saan kami nakakarinig at naging pagpapala, Panginoong Diyos, habang nakikinig ngayong araw na ito. Tataas ang Pinnacle Village, ang lahat ng pangailangan. Ikaw, Panginoong Diyos, ang siyang magbibigay ng aming mga hinihingi, mga inaasam, ang pagsulong ng gawain. Kung saan man, Panginoon, meron pong church na kami ay kabinang, lalong-lalo na po sa amin sa Pinnacle Village. Panginoon, salamat po. Diyos, nakikinig ng lahat ng mga panalangin, nakakaalam na kung anong dapat naming makamtan kasama ang mga hinihinging direksyon o pagpapagaling sa aming may sakit. Panginoong Diyos, ang pagbibigay ng aming mga pangailangan. Muli, sinasabing mahal ka po namin. Pinupuri ka po namin, Panginoong Diyos. Ito pong aming samad na langit sa pangalan po ni Jesus. Amen at Amen.